Hi, welcome back to the GloriaAndJan YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the Luana Canyon. This canyon also has a more chilling name, which is the Slaughterhouse Canyon. It is located in the beautiful state of Arizona. Arizona is known for its diverse landscapes, its rich cultural heritage, and also its unique natural wonders. But in this canyon, a chilling and eerie presence is felt, as well as a woman's spirit and chilling cries. This ghost story actually takes place in a canyon located near the city of Kingman, Arizona. This story takes place in the 1800s. There was a family who lived at the bottom of the Slaughterhouse Canyon. The father would regularly leave his wife and kids while he went searching out for food, and others also claim that he was a miner and he'd also go out looking for gold to make sure that his family was fed and had clothes and, just doing what a father usually does. But one day the father did not return. The woman and his children waited and waited, but as the days grew longer and the weeks passed, the family began to starve. They began screaming and crying out of hunger, especially the children, and their screams and cries could be heard throughout the whole canyon. They were so loud that the echo would go all around and literally come right back to them. And soon after, as the days would go by, the mother made a very tragic decision. So some say she made this decision out of just not being able to endure the cries, the screams of her children. And then other people say that she just lost her mind out of starvation, that she just went crazy. But something in her broke. She ended up taking the lives of her children. Some say she did it with her bare hands, and then other people say she did it with a knife. I don't know if I can say that word, but that she did it with a knife. And so after this horrible situation, many people say she unalived herself. Other people actually claim that she just started walking aimlessly around the canyon, covered in blood, and also just crying and just feeling this really big type of grief. And so her body couldn't take the grief anymore. Her body was exhausted, and the grief, the exhaustion, everything ended up making her fall to her knees and passing away as well. So she ended up passing away, whether it was her doing or just happening. She did end up passing away. So basically what the legend says, and also hikers claim that they hear her screams, her cries just echoing throughout the whole canyon. And this usually happens at nighttime. So if you want to hear her screaming, you gotta go visit at night. You gotta go during the moonlight, during the darkness. You will most likely hear her. Many people who visit the canyon at night actually claim to feel a very eerie presence. They feel eyes watching them. They hear whispers in the wind, and they also hear whispers coming from the canyon itself, from the canyon walls. So a lot of people say that if you want to get spooked, this is one of the most haunted areas in Arizona. So many people hear very long and sorrowful cries, and they also feel the grief and the sadness from the mother. So that is just something that is felt when you're there. If you don't like feeling sad or spooked out, this is not the place to visit. This is not the place to visit. But if you do like encountering paranormal activity, then I recommend this area, because there is multiple different stories of people actually encountering the woman and being terrified, and also feeling a horrible terror that makes them run out of the canyon. And another creepy thing that people claim to see while they visit the Slaughterhouse Canyon is shadows basically fleeting from one tree to another. So while they're hiking, walking, they will be like looking at the trees, and they just see that shadow like bouncing back from different trees passing, and that's so creepy to think about. I was like, what do you mean? Like when I was reading, I was like, what do you mean? Because that's just creepy. Moving on. Oh, not moving on. Another thing also, a lot of hikers claim that as well as seeing the shadow running through the trees, they also feel a really strong sense of being watched. They feel like something's watching them close by, but they can't see anything. They don't see anyone. They just have this feeling that someone is watching them. So a specific story was from a hiker. He said that while hiking the canyon all alone at night, that all of a sudden he felt the air get cold. He said that it felt different from the desert's usual warmth. And that's when he started to hear this quiet sobbing, these quiet cries. And as he started walking further into the canyon, that's when the cries started to get louder. He said that he continued walking, and then when he got further into the canyon, that's when he decided, this is kind of creepy, maybe I should go, you know? But as he's turning, he quickly got a glimpse of a woman standing at the very end of the trail. So he claims that this woman had very long, dark hair. It was covering her face, so he couldn't see her face. Her clothing was tattered and, you know, ripped, and this caused him to feel such a big sense of terror that he just froze. He said that he froze and just stared at her at the end of the trail. He says that he just stared until she vanished. Once she vanished, he booked it out of there. You know dang well he booked it out of there. But even though she vanished, disappeared, he could still hear her cries in the distance. He could still hear them linger around the canyon. So that is just a super creepy story. I'm like, I don't even know how I would feel. I don't know if I'd pass out from terror. I don't know. But at the same time, even if you're like scared, you also don't want to pass out and stay there, because you don't want to like wake up and see a face in front of you. I didn't want to turn the light off today. Gloria made me. She said I had to turn the light off. I'm scared. All right, let's move on to the next story, because I need to go through these quickly. So another hiker actually had a similar story to that first story. He says that he was walking in the canyon at night. I don't know why these hikers are going out at night. I know that it's probably because they want to see something, right? Because why would you be walking out at night by yourself out in this creepy haunted canyon? I don't know. Well, let me know in the comments below if you would go to this canyon at night. Let me know if you're that type of person to be like, I need to get to the bottom of this and I want to get spooked. Let me know, because I could never. Let me tell you, I could never. Okay, so this other hiker had a similar encounter. He says that he saw a woman. He says that she had very sorrowful. She had very sorrow. I can't even say the word now. Sorrowful dark eyes, and also tattered clothes, you know, ripped up, and that she was basically just walking aimlessly around the canyon, and then she ended up just disappearing into the night's darkness. Like, he randomly didn't see her anymore. And so, like I mentioned before, another thing that a lot of people say, a lot of visitors visiting the canyon, they do say that they hear whispers. They hear whispers in the wind. A lot of them do hear whispers coming from the walls of the canyon, just passing through. A lot of these whispers are calling out. Many of these sound like they're calling out to children. It almost sounds like she's calling out to her children, trying to get them back. She's just calling out for these children that she will never get back, which is very sad. And it's such a tragic story. And even with like a lot of visitors claiming that they feel this sense of sadness and grief while visiting this canyon, I don't know. I don't claim any of that energy. I don't claim it, and I don't mess with that. I would not go to that canyon messing with that. I just don't know who would want to feel that type of feeling, you know? Like, willingly go and feel that. It's just very sad. So the next story is actually a story that was told by a group of campers who went camping together. I think this group was much more smarter because, you know, they went in groups, they went together, not alone. And so they basically had a normal evening. They put up their tents and they started a fire in their little campsite, and then they were sleeping. They say as soon as night fell and the moon was at its peak, that is when the night was the most quiet. No sounds other than the little crickets chirping. Do they chirp? Basically, all they could hear was the crickets. It was a very quiet night in the canyon. And all of a sudden, that silence was broken out of nowhere by a loud, agonizing, high-pitched scream. They felt a sense of terror that they had never felt before. They were terrified, they were freaking out, they just felt this chilling, eerie sensation. Didn't even think twice. They just started gathering their stuff and they got out of there. They ran out, and I would too. I would be like, and you know the worst part, I feel like when something creepy happens and you need to get out, that's when you start tripping. That's when you start, like, you can't even grab things because you're freaking out. You're not doing anything correctly. So I'm imagining this is how all of them were, just trying to get their camping equipment out, trying to get like whatever they brought, pulling the tents. But yeah, they just started collecting stuff and they booked it out of there. The worst part is that this is in a canyon, a desert canyon, so there is sand everywhere. I just imagine them, like, they can't even run in the sand, you know? They're just getting held back. That is so terrifying, to be trying to get out of somewhere and then the environment is just made to make you struggle more. But one of the campers did give some chilling details about this situation. He says that while they were leaving, he actually did see little footprints around the campfire. So it looked like children's feet prints had been walking around. So basically, he said it looked like little children were walking around their campfire before they heard that scream while they were sleeping. I don't know, but that is so creepy, especially because it connects with that story about the lady, you know, and her children. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think that is a connection? It's her kids walking around the campfire being interested? I don't know. Oh, it's so creepy. All right, so this is gonna be the very last story about the canyon. So this was also another visitor who was visiting the canyon all alone. It was night and he was just at the entrance of the canyon. He hadn't gone in yet. He was just standing there when all of a sudden he felt this very strong gust of wind, and with the wind he heard a sorrowful sigh. So it went with the wind. When he heard this, he, like, out of instinct, he decided to turn and look behind. And that's when he saw a hazy, transparent, ghostly looking woman standing just a couple of feet away from him. He said that he blinked, and after blinking, she was gone. I don't know if my eyes look crazy because the camera is in an angle where I have never put it before, but I feel like my eyes look a little off. Like it looks like you can't guess where I'm looking. Anyways, so he says after seeing her that he actually felt this sense of grief and sadness that just felt like he could not shake off. He also felt that he needed to leave immediately. He needed to get out of there and not look back. And he also says that this sadness after leaving did not leave him for a couple of days. It affected his mood for a few of the following days after this encounter. So it did kind of stick with him for a little bit. And then he also claimed that he had taken equipment to film and it was completely dead. Like his camera was dead. His camera had no battery even though he had charged it. And this is something that a lot of people also claim, that they will purposely charge their cameras, you know, because they want to go and film. So their whole purpose of visiting the canyon is to go film it and go see if they can catch any paranormal activity. But a lot of them claim that after entering the canyon, just being there for a couple of minutes, their battery is drained completely as they enter. So I thought that was also another weird thing. So this is the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed this video and these stories of the Slaughterhouse Canyon, also known as Luana Canyon, then let me know down in the comments below. Please give this video a like, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, especially if they're into spooky, scary urban legends. We do a lot on this channel, so follow us for more and comment down below if you want us to do your city next or your country. We are so excited always to be learning about different places and getting to dive deeper into these stories and histories of places. This story has not been proven to be true, but it's a legend that has gone on for years. So do you guys think it's real? Do you guys think that it's made up? Do you think there is a spirit there? Do you think it connects to that story? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and see you in our next video. Bye!